What is up guys, Alex here, otherwise known as Clash with Style, and today I'm going to be taking you guys through how you can attack higher town halls than you at Town Hall 9. And as you can see, we are going to be using, of course, Queen Walk Dragons. Now I have already covered some of this strategy. I use it to farm Dark Elixir at Town Hall 9, so you can go and check out that video as well if you want. I will drop a card right about here so you guys can go and check out that video. That's more aimed towards just looking to pick up the Dark Elixir storage and the drills, but in this video we're going to be aiming, of course, to get the Town Hall for the first star and to pick up the 50% for the second star. And of course, a Town Hall 9v Town Hall 10 picking up a 3-star is always going to be something that is going to be difficult, and in CWL you'll find a lot of the matchups are very difficult indeed. So that is why I'm releasing this video, for you guys to see how it is possible to 1 and 2 star Town Hall 10s at Town Hall 9. And we're just going to jump right into it. You can see my army composition here: 9 wall breakers, 3 wizards, 5 healers, 6 dragons, and most of the time I will bring an E-dragon in the clan castle. So we're just going to jump right into this. And on this base you can see 2 single target infernos, definitely an enemy of a queen charge, but they are relatively close, so I'm opting to bring 4 free spells to try and keep that queen up. We're going to be starting the queen, if you can see, from this top side of the base. I use a wizard there on the left hand side on this army camp over here to deal with that, to make sure the queen does not walk around that side. And as you can see, we also have the king coming in from the top side of the base to start taking out some of them. I also drop another wizard over there to just try and help take out that enemy king. We get a couple of wall breakers in to get that queen into that compartment. We will need to keep an eye on her health, as we will need to use a rage spell relatively soon. And if we pause it there, you can see the king has cleaned all of this right hand side of the base with the help of a wizard. And E-Drag has dealt with those 3 other buildings that were sitting at the top, and it should be able to come in and chain value onto some of these other defenses that are doing some work onto our queen. And if we pause it there, you can see we get our first rage spell down. And the important thing about the rage spells is to encompass both the queen and the healers. We need those healers to be under rage to get that queen back up to full health, as she's getting targeted by quite a few defensive structures. I usually at this point also aim to get some of my wall breakers, as you can see, in through that rage spell to just get a little bit more value. Unfortunately, those wall breakers didn't open up the compartment I was looking for them to, but nonetheless they have done their purpose. We are in and we are on to the Town Hall. I'm now just going to be using free spells on those single target infernos right there. That meant that we could get that E-Drag 1 extra shot off, which was very helpful indeed. We got one of the air defenses down. We will have to use the queen's ability here, as we are locked onto by that single target inferno. Unfortunately, now we have pulled the clan castle, but we have already picked up about 33% using 2 of our heroes and the clan castle. So we can now focus in on the dragons here on the right hand side, and don't be scared to use rage spells onto your queen charge portion of the attack to make sure she gets that town hall. Very important that she picks up that town hall for you. At this point I have completely disregarded the queen. That single target inferno is locked onto her. She is going to die even if I get a rage spell down on her, so there's no point in wasting a spell. We might as well save it for our dragons, which are going to be coming in from this right hand side. And for me, I felt this right hand side was probably best. They were quite far away from those single target infernos, and we will be able to get some decent value with them under rage. And as you can see, they are picking up percent points pretty quickly here, already up to 44%, so the 50% looks pretty easy right here. These dragons are going to continue through that rage spell right there, going to pick up 47, 48, and 50% is pretty much inevitable here. I also went from the opposite side of the queen. If you can take out the enemy queen with your initial queen charge, it will make life easier for your dragons when they get in range of her. Also, never attack straight into an air sweeper. I was hoping these dragons would actually push further into the base rather than sweeping around, but sweeping around worked out fine for us, and we were able to pick up those extra percent. The dragon's going to continue going around the base, and sometimes in wars percentage can be very important indeed. So I'm just going to allow these dragons to finish off as much of this base as they can. They do take out that enemy queen there, and this dragon here on the bottom side is going to keep going round. Sorry for any lag there, I'm not too sure what happened. The dragon just going to be taken out there by that air defense, and we get a 60% 2-star against a Town Hall 10 with Inferno Tower. So that is definitely not too bad. I'm pretty happy with that. And of course, 2 stars, as everyone knows, in CWL can win you wars. So we're going to go and take a look at another example of this strategy right now. And here we go. Again, you can see exactly the same strategy, and this is with one of my other accounts, Little Warrior. You can see the queen actually not even maxed. She is only level 22 and the king is only level 19, so you can do it with slightly lower leveled heroes. You just have to make sure you get those rage spells down as and when needed. I'm going to get that queen in from the right hand side and going to aim towards that town hall. We've already got a couple of wall breakers in, so the queen is doing her job. It looks like unfortunately she is starting to wander around to that right hand side, but luckily we got that wizard in and it was able to take down that structure down there, so the queen is going to loop back around into this base, which is perfect. Again, I'm going to sneak some of those wall breakers through that rage spell and get them into the base. The queen now has access in towards that town hall, which is perfect. If you didn't notice as well, we got the E-Drag in from the top, which funneled that queen into the base nicely. So the queen definitely got some value up there. Of course, need to get these rage spells down. We just got the queen's ability there in time. That balloon there from the clan castle got off a shot. I'm going to have to use a freeze. I'm probably going to have to use another rage spell there, as those lava pups are certainly causing some issues, ripping our queen to shreds. At this point, I thought maybe it was all over. I am going to have to freeze up these multi-target Inferno as well as an Expo, and we're going to get our dragons in already. I didn't want my queen to wander around to this bottom side of the base. We are probably, however, going to have to use that other rage spell for our queen, as we've already had to pop her ability dealing with that clan castle. Max level balloons can pretty much easily take out a queen as well as a max level P.E.K.K.A. If you see a P.E.K.K.A. come out that clan castle, oh god, you're in for a tough ride. You'll need to freeze it. You'll probably need to use the queen's ability too. Max level P.E.K.K.A.s can cause some serious issues. Unfortunately, at this point, the Expo has locked onto our healers. Not really too sure why it wasn't locked onto the queen. Maybe she just went slightly out of range. We've already picked up the first star with the help of the dragons on the bottom side, and the queen luckily is going to get that town hall down for us, which is perfect. I'm not too sure where she was going right there. She goes down pretty much straight away as soon as she's dealt with that town hall. But another reasonably safe 2-star, and clan castle troops are very, very difficult to take out, especially with a low level queen. You can see a level 22 queen. If you kept an eye on her health through that attack, she was very close to death a couple of times. If you didn't, go rewind the video a little bit to see that initial queen charge. She took some heavy fire and it was very close to her going down. So a lot of these times, these 2-star attacks can be risky and you might only end up with a 1-star, but still a 1-star is better than a no-star, because a lot of the time you'd be better hitting down with your Town Hall 10 to guarantee a 3-star, and then use your Town Hall 9 to hit the Town Hall 10 and get a 2-star. Obviously, if you're confident at Town Hall 9 to 3-star Town Hall 9 and at Town Hall 10 to 3-star Town Hall 10, that's probably what's best. But sometimes you have to jumble things about in CWL to try and get it right. And you can see another 68% 2-star here, reasonably good against a Town Hall 10. We're going to go and take a look at one more of these strategies to just cover it in full detail. Let's go and take a look. And here we go again with SLD, one of my Town Hall 9 accounts. We're going to be getting our queen in from the bottom of this base. There is a single target Inferno here, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. It looks like that enemy queen, only level 9, shouldn't really cause too much of an issue. So we get our king as well as help from a couple of wizards there on the right hand side to start off that funnel. We get some wall breakers in and we are into this base. King's ability is used and I was really worried those healers were going to change at this point. Usually I aim to get the king as far away from the queen as possible, but to still get that funnel, but he wrapped all the way through into where the queen was going, so I was pretty worried indeed there. Going to sneak a couple more wall breakers through. I did expect there to be a giant bomb, so I didn't put them all down, but unfortunately the rest of the wall breakers do not go where we want them to, so I will have to use a jump spell here, but I was expecting to use a jump spell, hence why I brought it. So sometimes you will need to mix up the army a bit, drop a couple of those free spells and bring a jump spell. The queen is going to deal with some of these buildings on the left hand side. We're going to get the E-drag in from this right hand side. Should be able to get a few decent chain value hits right there. Queen is going to go over the wall, deal with that air sweeper, then going to turn on the enemy queen. We are only getting targeted by that multi-target inferno, which is very lucky. If we'd gone in from that other side, the queen probably would have been under attack from that single target inferno. I'm now going to rage up the E-drag as well as all of those E-drags, as I know I've already got that 1-star there from the queen. She has dealt with that. We're going to freeze up that single target inferno, and we now have the rage spells for our dragons. We also have that queen's ability still in hand, which is perfect. To be honest, I probably should have used that rage spell slightly earlier there in the center to try and push those dragons further on through, because at this point we really don't have much use for that rage spell, as those dragons on the right hand side are getting absolutely ripped to shreds. So the focus here is going to continue onto our queen charge through the center. Going to use the rage spell there to propel her through that multi-target inferno, take down a few more defenses and pick up those extra percentage points. And I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes if you look at a base and you think you could take it out, because there was a couple of Town Hall 10s without Inferno Towers but still decently upgraded defenses that I actually 3-starred using Goho and Go La Lo. So sometimes you can 3-star these bases, but usually with Inferno Towers, if you're a Town Hall 9 going against a Town Hall 10 with Inferno Towers, it's going to be pretty difficult. So that is why hopefully this video has showed you guys how you can use a Queen Charge Dragon attack to pick up a 1-star using the Queen Charge onto the Town Hall, and the 2nd star using the dragons around the base to pick up those percentages. And that will bring us to a close for this video. I really hope you guys found this informative. I know plenty of CWL matchups can be very unfair, hence why I wanted to bring this to you guys. It's very important to sometimes get these 1 and 2 stars to just win these wars. Of course, for these higher clans and champions and whatnot, it won't really matter. Town Hall 9, Town Hall 10 doesn't mean anything to them, but I know plenty of these lower guys will depend on seeing videos and strategies like this in order to pick up the 1 and 2 stars against higher town halls than themselves. So thank you so much for watching. If you've stuck around all the way to the end of this video, thank you ever so much. Drop a like, leave a comment too, subscribe as well. Over 2,000 subscribers now, which is fantastic, and I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that might be. Peace.